the voice. You know, can you give us a little bit of that bottom? Can you imitate?
Oh, Lord.
We gotta be little sisters.
What song?
Punchline. It wasn't just tea that Toni Braxton spilled. She doused the entire Cash Money crowd with holy water.
Okay, Toni. I know what you're probably thinking. What do they have in common? Why would an icon like Toni end up with a Birdman? I don't know. Don't ask me questions I can't answer for.
Watch closely.
It was like a horror movie night mixed with a Sunday service when Toni finally spoke up about those crazy death ritual claims involving Birdman and Cash Money. The internet went crazy. The fans weren't prepared to hear their gentle voice. The R&B queen made veiled allusions about loyalty, energy, and the cost of power. However, Sis gave that lecture as if she had just emerged from a spiritual battleground.
Said he was with Toni Braxton for 18 years. She convinced him to get married. He did no paperwork. She got a divorce in 2 weeks and caught him for mega millions. He said the fix was in. This Birdman.
Whispers trailed Birdman's kingdom for many years. Dark imagery, enigmatic symbolism, and that notorious blood oath discourse that devotees insisted wasn't just lyrics.
Talking that talk and saying, oh, well, Birdman didn't pay, or we didn't get our money, or and you hear that.
I got another question. If I'm this slimy nigga that's I do all this stuff, you think all this?
Toni didn't use derogatory language because she is a legend of poise. She left the tough lifting to implication. She mentioned that love can occasionally have spiritual baggage. No one in the crowd blinked. They let out a yell. She clutched her bank account and Bible when she spotted something in Cash Money's home. The Birdman appeared to have had his spiritual Wi-Fi disconnected. Toni wasn't merely responding to gossip. She was working them out. The R&B community applauded. Gospel Twitter said, "Amen." Moreover,
Toni Braxton, are you okay? Toni has taken to social media to officially confirm her anniversary to Birdman and showing off a beautiful, huge rock that I'm assuming he got.
A virtual seance was created in Birdman's comment section. She concluded that whatever she saw behind those black shades and diamond links was above her pay grade. The fans wondered if rosaries were necessary for the label meetings, but Toni departed with her soul intact. It wasn't love when gangster rap and R&D collided. It was a tax deduction for counseling. For example, the relationship between Toni Braxton and Birdman was the most perplexing crossover since Marvel met reality TV. No, not at all.
Toni Braxton allegedly secretly married Birdman. And about 3 months later, she filed for divorce. When she filed for divorce, she asked for half of his $160 million that he's worth.
And she rich as hell, so I don't even know why she...
I don't know if she rich. I mean, Toni's
rich.
she went...
It was all crimson carpets and rose petals in one moment. Love chains and loyalty contracts appeared to be a once-in-a-lifetime deal. It was a weird pairing. The tattooed mogul who most likely signs contracts in red writing, and the graceful ballad queen. Toni claimed it was true love until it wasn't, but the world didn't get it. There was anxiety behind the cold presence in photo sessions. Loyalty, not love, was the foundation of Birdman's kingdom. What began as opposites attract became opposites attack.
Y'all dog crazy. Y'all know how we get down. Listen what I'm saying, man. This is my story, nigga. I was with Hard Head Records, with Roderick, one of the biggest in New Orleans. When I was younger, we had a group called Murder Inc., Hard Head Records. Roderick died, I went to Rough Era Records with Henry with Glow. Another nigga was well known in the city, had a lot of money.
Toni realized that she was dating a whole ecosystem of control rather than just a man. And the fantasy broke when she realized that power took the place of a relationship. She began pulling back, fewer appearances, according to sources, and her side eye had tighter circles that were sharp enough to cut through platinum chains. The conclusion of a fairy tale. Toni is leaving the castle with improved illumination, therapy, and receipts instead of glass slippers. The marriage between Toni and Birdman was shorter than a Lil Wayne over by 2 days. Toni and Birdman made their marriage a one-time offer, even though it was meant to last forever. According to reports, they held a covert wedding with a focus on secrecy, and then 2 days later, they filed for divorce. That isn't a honeymoon. That is a 48-hour chaos trial subscription. According to rumors, documents were submitted, rejected, refiled, and then abruptly withdrawn. In the meantime, Toni began removing posts as if she were cleaning up her internet history following her relationship with Birdman.
We with Toni Braxton for 18 years. We were together for 18 years. Boyfriend and girlfriend, engaged for however time that was. Then all of a sudden they get married. 2 weeks later, boom, divorce. No paperwork, no nothing.
Yeah.
We gotta pay her.
She dismissed it in public by saying it was all caps, but fans didn't buy it. The receipts had too much heat. Even their inner circles were allegedly perplexed. They were married one day and unfollowing each other like ex-partners from high school the next. Tyler Perry appeared to have authored the timeline while high on Red Bull. In all honesty, that quick breakup may have saved her, because whatever the nature of the marriage, love, public relations, or a misguided manifestation, it stopped before it could ruin her career. With a hit song waiting in the wings, Toni left with dignity
And saying, oh, well, Birdman didn't pay, or we didn't get our money, or and you hear that.
I got another question for you. If I'm this slamming nigga that's, like I do all this stuff, you think God will still be blessing me?
Nope.
I think I be getting a bad rap too, right? Because niggas don't really know how it go, right?
Right.
I'm gonna sum it up like this. You got 52 niggas on one football team.
You're right.
And you gotta pay the superstars on both sides.
The man appeared to be the groom from a canceled Twilight spin-off as he left. Toni didn't simply reject the union. She removed the song, treating it like a failed collaboration. She not only cleared her name, but also completely changed her life after Toni declared that the Birdman marriage rumors were untrue. One moment she was referred to as the enthusiastic Mrs. Cash Money, and the next she was glowing, rejuvenated, and publicly allergic to drama. The cleanup was planned. She cleaned up social media, posted ambiguous statements about safety and tranquility, and began discussing independence, health, and financial freedom. It was more than image restoration. A reawakening occurred. Recall that Toni has experienced public heartbreak, health crises, and bankruptcy. In essence, she has a PhD in storm survival. This time, however, she emerged as a CEO who dismissed disorder from her staff. The universe of Birdman was collapsing while Toni was radiant in interviews, drinking matcha, and discussing self-love. That's how you turn a PR disaster into a period of rebound. She was dubbed the queen of soft exits by her admirers for escaping a rap empire while making it seem like a beauty regimen. Birdman appeared to have downloaded a virus rather than confidence when he took the stage. Birdman has been attending gatherings like he's buffering in real life lately. Videos that went viral showed him dozing off in the middle of a performance, forgetting words, and even missing cues that fans found amusing. Fatigue and teleprompter problems were cited by his crew. But let's face it, something is wrong. The once unbeatable mogul now appears haunted, as if he had made too many transactions in poorly lit spaces. He was instantly diagnosed by social media, bad karma, stress, relapse, or all of the above. Toni, meanwhile, is out here exuding calm and hydrated vitality, demonstrating that sometimes the best form of retaliation is distance. The role reversal became apparent to the general public. The diva appeared untouchable, but the gangster appeared frail. Even Birdman's posture seems to be bargaining for surrender these days, even though his kingdom is out of control. Fans are unable to determine if Toni is worn out or spiritually exhausted, but in any case, his exit timing was flawless. Birdman and she didn't split up. She left the cult by clocking out. Heartbreak isn't the true story. It has to do with freedom. Toni avoided a nasty marriage in more ways than one. She broke free from what insiders characterize as an obedient, loyalty-driven ecosystem. There was no label for cash. It was a way of life. You also followed Birdman's regulations once you were inside. Artists discuss strange gatherings, strange customs, and a society in which force took the place of cooperation. Toni recognized this wasn't love when he spotted the writing on the wall. This was bondage branding. Having battled through financial ruin, burnout from celebrity, and chronic disease, she knew when energy became poisonous. So she followed the custom of tales. Silently, but utterly, she departed. There was stillness, loud enough to rock the building, but there was no conflict or media attention. Supporters referred to it as a breakup. Insiders referred to it as an escape. because love is labor when freedom is restricted and allegiance is coerced, and Toni was tired of clocking in. Since the days of dial-up internet, Cash Money has been rewarding artists and providing visibility. There is fine language on every label, but Cash Money's contracts might as well include a therapist and a magnifying lens. For years, artists have grumbled about unpaid masters, recoupable debts, and missing royalties. According to the video, Toni had a close-up look at that system, the way artists became loyalists due to Birdman's economic model. On paper, you might be wealthy, but in fact, you might not be. An empire like that devours its own genius, and Toni took a step back when the walls began to break. She knows when a table is cursed because she has witnessed enough poor deals. Birdman used control to build an empire, but control finally breaks down due to its own paranoia. Fans can now view it as well. Every tattoo, chain, and family illusion is merely bondage branding. Toni witnessed it, made it through, and left with her spiritual and musical masters. It's evacuation, not loyalty, when your big three start leaving the label. By late 2025, Lil Wayne, Drake, and Nicki Minaj, Birdman's formerly unbeatable trio, began doing what any exhausted employee hopes to do, leaving the company. It was evident from the film that the Cash Money dynasty was faltering due to the pandemonium, speech interruptions, and growing anxiety. Toni Braxton was drinking tea, appearing unfazed, and humming that he wasn't manly enough in the midst of all that mayhem, as if it were a prophecy. There you have it, the full circle moment. She didn't require retribution, she required tranquility. And the most costly luxury in the music business, my friends, is tranquility. Therefore, Toni is out there demonstrating that you can weather the storm, outshine the shade, and still hit your high notes as Birdman's label struggles to keep its wings from falling off. Call it karma, divine timing, or the greatest breakup of the decade. But it's important to remember that Toni Braxton did more than merely get away from a man. A demon wearing high-end shoes was outdanced by her. And now, like the R&B phoenix, she is entering her next age. She has always had immaculate wings, a stable crown, and impenetrable vigor. Curtain call, mic drop. A lesson was discovered. A lady who has witnessed the contract and the cross should never be undervalued.